I'm excited because we're digging into day 2 of Gamify Your Business Bootcamp. We're live in the Facebook group. If you have any questions, definitely chime in there. There's so many great resources in terms of gamification that today is just going to inspire you to figure out how you want to implement gamification into your business. So, today we're talking about the 4 ways to reward your customers. And this is based off of my PBL method, and it's pretty fun. So, you've already heard a little bit about me. I'm very competitive. I was raised in a big family. I love ideation. And you're thinking, like, what is ideation? If you're familiar with the Gallup Strength Finder test, you go in and take a 20-minute test, and you're assigned 34 attributes, and you focus on your top 5. And top 5, number 1 for me is ideation. This means that I always have a lot of ideas. So it's good as a course creator, but I can only implement so many. And so it was only after helping people implement these ideas and realizing, oh my word, I'm teaching them gamification all the time. Then I wanted to learn more about gamification. So I tried to find a gamification coach, and I paid them over $500,000 and got on a call with them and started working with them. And then they taught me what they knew about gamification. And you can guess it, I knew more about gamification than they did. And they were only talking about platforms that we use to gamify, which is still really important, but I already had that foundation. And so earlier this year, I decided, it was a disservice to everyone involved if we can't create something where people can use gamification to increase revenue, but also to create a culture that stands apart. And so you'll see a lot of different themes from yesterday and today that work with each other as we talk about gamification. So definitely let me know if you have any questions. One thing to remember about me is I'm motivated by fun. I like things to be fun, right? So the hard truth about ways to reward people is that if you're launching a course without gamification, it's the same as launching ads with no Facebook pixel. And if you don't run Facebook ads, basically you're putting something out in the world without being able to track it. How do you know what does well? How do you know what people like? How do you know the content that people are looking at? You can always look at the views of a video if you have a housing platform, but to be able to focus on a course or program or module that is gamified will give you the knowledge that you need to enhance the offer, make it better, and serve your people in that way. The analytics help you to optimize future offers. And so that's the way that I've used it in my business. If you follow me at all, you know that I've launched multiple self liquidating offers, and I've taken my email list on a value ladder journey. So it's just from gamification and surveying them that I've launched those specific things. And that's what led to gamification, is that everyone was so interested in it. So, gamifying your data allows you to motivate people, inspire them, help them feel engaged, empowered, and prosper. So, we're going to talk about the 4 ways to gamify your business. If you have any questions, definitely comment on the video and we will get them up. We had one question before and we'll answer that. And that question may be answered through this training. So, our PBL method, what does that stand for? Points, badges, levels, and leaderboards. So why would we even give somebody points, right? Like they take your course, yay, you get a point. What does that do to the human mind? So we use points to give them a variety of interesting tasks to complete. So if we want someone that gets our freebie we want them to complete the freebie because we know if they do, they'll be more prepared for our next offer. Then we base a point system to get them to do that. And definitely, I want you to comment points if you want to know an automated system that I use that assigns points to people. Points implement a simple reward system. So when you can tell someone, good job, you did this, how does that make you feel? And how does it make them feel? So, point system is something in the gamification agency that we automate. So, you don't have to be creeping up on someone to see where they're at. They take the actions, it's triggered, and they are emailed, or however you want to surprise your people. to give them the reward, right? To say you've done it. And points can also be categorized as engagement points. So, like, what are they doing to take the actions inside your business? And I use points across the board to track people. So, uh, we had a question earlier, how do we know how to reward people? Because I've created the PBL method, the formula, I have different varying degrees of how to empower people. So there really isn't any way that someone would get into my world and not receive points. It's just part of it. Now, when we talk about badges and levels and leaderboards, that's different because we're trying to not give out a participation badge to the people who work the hardest. They deserve those higher rung things. Okay. So points offer irregular bonuses to keep customers hooked through variable rewards. And so it's just keeping them steady. And inside of all my courses and programs, when people hit complete, they will actually see points. And so they're able to continue on that path. And as I mentioned before, I personally reward users points for everything that they do. This works because I use badges, levels, and leaderboards, which we will get into. So understanding that points is an entry-level thing for you to reward people, that your people are going to get rewarded just by showing up, which increases the motivation, engagement, and loyalty to your business. Number 2 is badges, which is my favorite because I love ideas, right? What can we do to give people that shift? Badges help the learners feel recognized for their efforts. And when I was building the gamification agency, one thing that was really important to me was creating a community that people feel like they could step into. And I had been studying and implementing a lot about attractive avatars and even alter egos. And you may have seen that the name of this Facebook group changed to Authentic Boss Entrepreneurs. I want all of you to feel like you can show up in this space, be authentic, and totally own that authenticity in your entrepreneurial journey. So I haven't implemented any badges for that yet, but I foresee that becoming something we would do in the future. And that would help my people, the learners, feel recognized for their efforts. And so you set up badges to be able to do that. I'm working with a client right now. She helps people grow a Facebook group. It's really awesome. And she talks about being someone that can pull people around a campfire. And just that vibe of everyone sitting around a campfire, if you think about it, like, those are some great memories. And as she was telling me that on our strategy call, my ideation kicked in. And I told her, we should name your badge Fire Starter. And she was like, yes. So that's what we're doing, working on the graphics for that. That's something that our agency does in-house. Anyways, so that's one way the badges help the learners feel recognized for their efforts, right? So what are the things that we're doing to help people earn the badges? That's part of gamification. They act as a target setting, right? So they get in your space. They're like, what do you do? I teach people how to do this, and you motivate them to achieve a badge. Then they know what they need to do inside of your business, which is really cool because we talked about yesterday when you can set up a goal for your person, your client, your customer, your user to achieve, and then it also, you're achieving a goal by them accomplishing it too, right? So badges work as a recognition device that motivates the player to work hard towards the gamification objectives. And you set what those objectives are. For me, all of my clients, we have been able to look at their analytics and their strategies, and we've decided that we want people to buy their high ticket. And so we are gamifying the elements of what prepares someone to buy a high ticket. And so you can think about that for your business. What are ways that people are not engaging and they're not that involved, and what are ways that you want to increase that engagement to be able to bring them to the fold? Okay, so I want to make sure I'm recording, make sure there's not any questions. Let me pop in here real quick. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to talk about different badges and the way and why you need badges in your business and how it works, right? And there's examples of that, of what I'll present is called the identity ideology. And that's, authentic boss entrepreneurs. that's inside the ClickFunnels space, that's funnel hackers. So there's all these different types of identity that these people step into that creates a culture shift for them too, which is really, really powerful. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind, that there's a purpose behind that gamification for badges, and we are creating a change in people's lives. Okay, the third part is levels. And if you're in marketing, you'll understand this is how we move people up your level ladder or value ladder. So being able to let people know you've hit this rung and now you can move on to the next course or offering that I have. Now we can work one-to-one. Setting a parameter and an entry level for one-to-one is really powerful too, because sometimes people are more motivated when you say like, oh, you can only join this if you've done this and this. So it's a really powerful way to make sure people are prepared to enter your space at that commitment level. Level up is for strategy or concept designed to be a roadmap for the learner. So this is awesome because a lot of times if you get into a course, you don't always know what's expected of you. And that sounds weird, right? Like we don't buy a course thinking that things are expected of us, but we buy a course for results, and results don't happen on their own. So the level up system is to help people see the roadmap and be able to see where they fall short or where they need to step up. And it allows the course creator lifetime customer value to rise, because you can see, okay, this is where people are stuck and this is where we want to gamify them to get them to our next offer. Science, right? Marketing science will always tell us that it's more expensive. It's 6 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to level up or up level your current list. So gamification is really the way to move people through your value ladder, where you can actually have endlessness because everyone is partaking of your content. Okay, so this little thing didn't show up, but Thursday we're going to talk about the level up system. It was just a little battery. We're going to talk about how that plays a role and how all these principles are based off of each other. Okay, the fourth one is leaderboards, and leaderboards are designed, they're a design element of gamification. And this is kind of one of my favorites. I was in a coaching program 1 year ago in October, and I saw that I could be at the top of the leaderboard. So you bet your bottom dollar, I did everything in my power to accomplish all the tasks that were given to me and all the assignments. And I did it multiple times because the program was about creating self-liquidating offers. And you guys know I'm obsessed with that. So I'm untouchable on that leaderboard. And I'm motivated by fun. So it was really easy for me to get to the top. Okay. So the main purpose of a leaderboard is to boost engagement, visibility, and community competition. That certainly works for me. And it's something I've implemented, and it's completely automated, which makes it even better to be able to allow people to see who else is on the leaderboard and what's going on. So it definitely boosts my engagement, and I'm always in those coaching programs, checking to see who's on the leaderboard. And the program is a year old, you guys. That's how obsessed I am with gamification. So those at the top, enjoy the notoriety that it brings. As for everyone else, the leaderboard shows them where they stand relative to their peers. So you can make a game out of your course with gamification. You can tell people, you can screenshot it and put it in your group and say, Jenny is still at the top. Who's going to knock her off, right? We see this with affiliate programs. That's why they're so successful, is because they've gamified the process and they post it. The platform that I use, though, automates it. So you can set it up, you can customize it, and you can privatize it too. So it's really what works best for you. So understanding that everyone is motivated by their own reasons for engaging and consuming content, you can really gear it towards people. And that's pretty incredible. Okay, so how to choose, this was a great question in our Facebook group, how to choose which type of activities to reward in the gamification process. I love this because it's revealed in what do you want your people to do on your value ladder? What carries them up to the one-to-one, or what carries them up to your mastermind, or what carries them from buying a big website from you? What things, have you heard the saying, sell the thing that sells the thing? gamify the thing that gamifies the thing, right? So we gamify the thing that we want our end results to hit. So if I want people to, of course, you know, I'll let you in on a secret. I'm offering group coaching for gamification at the end of this week. So my things before that will start leading up to gamification in that way. And I was actually thinking that the next boot camp for this, I think I will put you guys through gamification in my own portal so you can see it. You don't have to buy one of my existing products to be able to experience gamification. So to choose the type of activity that you want to reward. And so, as I mentioned before, I use points for everything because I want people to feel like they're getting rewarded for baby steps. Because baby steps, they might be easy for me, but they're not easy for everybody. There's things that are hard for me, like maybe if somebody gamified the laundry process for me and like putting away the clothes in drawers got you like more points than washing 6 loads in one day. I have 3 kids, 3 boys. So what can we do to gamify these activities so we know they're going to get done, right? And there's even, you know, audiobooks, I'll leave the last chapter. Why, right? It's like I'm saving some for dessert. So being able to understand how we want to motivate people, and because we will be launching your course with gamification, we will know the pain points. We will know where people are not actually participating or engaging in your content. So it's really interesting because you get to decide. You totally are the course creator. You get to decide how you want to reward people. But I always tell people to use the PBL method because people are motivated for different reasons. And for me, because I'm competitive, I want the points, I want the badges, I want to be able to post that badge. Like I'm a fun, like, is this not an example? I don't know if you can see my shirt. It's a badge. It's a badge. I didn't even plan that. It's a badge. I have taken the shift. Like I've built a funnel. I'm a funnel hacker. Tomorrow we're going to talk about that, like why that matters and why that's such a big deal. So understanding that the rewards, the points have their own place. The badges have their own place. The levels have their own place. It's even, you know, when you think about playing games with your kids or acquiring different point systems, we go to a resort, a family resort in Hilton Head every year. And if we spend a certain amount, we get elite status and we get to park right next to the front door. And we've gotten other types of statuses here where we've gotten discounts and things, but we've never got elite status. And you should hear my husband talk about it, like getting elite status. There's 2 parking spots and they're always open when we go to Hilton Head to this resort. So that's like on his radar, you guys. He is mentally preparing himself to spend thousands of dollars to get this badge to level up because this incentive, right? So who thought it's just a, you know, it's just a parking spot for 7 days, but it's important to him. And so it's little things like that. And he's going to get it. If he sees this, he'll pop his head in and say, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that badge. I'm going to get elite status. So there's things we already do all around us. Credit cards, right? Like we know, oh, we got to spend on that card because we're going to get the cash back, right? There's lots of different points. Chick-fil-A, right? Domino's, if you spend $60, ask me how I know this, you get a free pizza. When my kids have a babysitter, we order pizza for them so the babysitter doesn't have to cook. And when you spend $60, you get a free pizza. So understanding that you get to decide the activities, it just makes it fun. It just makes it so fun. And how many course creators are out there gamifying their process to stand out? Nobody is, either because they don't know how or they don't know what to gamify. So that's what this boot camp is here for, to help you break through those roadblocks of like, what should I gamify and why should I gamify? And it's kind of endless and really cool when you get deep into it. Okay, so what if I told you that there was a way to completely automate our PBL method? I've been working on it all week with the client, and it's really cool because once it's done, we'll sit back and watch it. We'll sit back and watch people get badges and post in her Facebook group with their badge. I got this badge, and they will work for the next badge, and they will grow her group for her because there's engagement in there, and that communicates to Facebook. Let's send more people this group. Okay, so gamification is not just about making more revenue. It's actually really cool how we're using the human psychology to motivate people to jump in and work. And I was thinking about this the other day because I was working with a realtor that we're talking about gamification. And as a portrait photographer, I have been thinking about this a lot, that anytime you sell something to somebody, you can reward them to come back for more, right? Like they want gold status. They want to be said, I have had my picture taken by you 4 times, so I am gold status. What does that mean? And I want to flaunt that to all my friends or whatever. So being able to figure out how you want to reward people for spending money with you is a really, really incredible concept that increases the lifetime value of your customer. So yeah, it's like the Hilton Head Marriott reward system. To get to the next level, you have to have a different room card. See, and we don't ever say, that's stupid. Oh, I don't want to do that. I could never do that. So I want you to remember that as you're thinking about gamification for your business, is that people are not going to think that it's dumb. They're going to think that it's cool. 1, because they're already in your space, so they like, know, and trust you. And 2, our brains are wired for games and stories and filling in the gaps and stepping into alter egos, right? Like stepping into the identity of who they can become. And I just think it's so untapped that gamifying your business really sets it apart and allows you to serve your people better, which is really, really cool too. Let me see if there's any questions in the group. Okay, so this was a shorter lesson, but tomorrow we're talking about the identity ideology. Sorry, that's a little blurry. The identity ideology about what we need to do to create identity shifts for people and how that will increase, motivate, and engage them to prosper, but also to come back to you as the authority for whatever you serve, whether you're a service provider, or you do programs, or whatever you offer. There is a way to create identity shifts, right? Let me give you a little example. Like a Target mom, like they gave themselves that identity shift. Target just did really good on their branding. So there's lots of different ways we can create identity shifts in our people where they don't want to work with anybody else. They want to work with you, and they like the identity that you've created for them. Another example of that is Little Monsters with Lady Gaga, right? So it's about creating a culture. And I see one of my photography friends here, Michelle Franzetti. She's awesome. I know her locally, and she is a boudoir and wedding photographer. And she has a Facebook group called Franz with Benefits, and her last name is Franzetti. So if you're watching the replay, go check out her Facebook group, because she is using identity ideology to grow her group and build community. And that's incredible, right? So this bleeds over not just in gamifying your courses or programs, but your entire business and the identity and culture that you're trying to build. Yeah, the wheels are spinning. Once I started doing it for other people, I was like, this is amazing, just to see the shifts that we can create. And it kind of, what it does is pulls back the curtain for companies that have really big brands and identity shifts, and helps us see how they've been using gamification, human behavior all along to get us to move forward and make decisions in our own business. So if you guys don't have any questions, those are super good comments. Tomorrow's awesome. It is my favorite thing about gamification, because it's not that I'm a superhero geek, but I kind of am. I really am like, are we not all a Wonder Woman, right? Do we not all have things inside of us that we can help people become better by? And that's really kind of the identity shifts that we talk about, and being able to gamify that makes it fun. And we'll talk about alter egos and what that does in a business too. So Thank you guys for being here. I'll hang out for another minute if there's any questions that you have about customizing gamification for your business. But being able to motivate people in your own way, they will grab onto it and they will want to participate in your contest, in your programs, and in your offerings because they already like, know, and trust you. They see you as that authority, and they want to partake of what you have. So you might as well make it fun and make it different to set yourself apart. Yeah, my wheels are spinning. This is so cool. I agree, Jenna. So being able to understand the shifts that happen through gamification are just incredible. So if there's not any other questions, thank you guys for joining me. And I'm super pumped for tomorrow. I hope you are too. And love you guys. Peace out.